Welcome back to the Sports Zone here on AM 1380 WTYM and Family Life TV, brought to you in part by Walker Motor Company in downtown Katanning. GMC, we are professional grade. And on the phone we have the author of the Pirates blog, the McEffect. Hope I'm getting that right. Mr. John Anson. John, how are we doing this evening?
I'm feeling good, John. Thanks for having me on.
Anytime. Now, your blog, pretty popular around the area, and on Twitter, about 1,600 followers. How's that make you feel?
You know, it feels good. The blogger life, the basement college dorm room blogger life, I'm doing all right. Hoping to get bigger, though. We're trying to grow.
Absolutely, and this is about that time where expansion's happening in the baseball world. Opening day. Now, it's one of my top 5 favorite days, but where does it rank for you as far as your favorite sports day in America? Is it your number 1 favorite day, opening day?
Yeah, I don't think I could put anything over it. Absolutely. I mean, there's some competitors. March Madness is always a fun day. Super Bowl Sunday, but I don't think it gets any better than opening day, especially for us Pirate fans. That's normally one of the few days we have that we have some hope and that we're not in last place or out of contention. So opening day, I think, takes the cake for me. I was
going to say it's one of the few days where the Pirates are tied for first. Now let's get right into the opening day talk. Looking like the Phillies are obviously going to throw Holiday at us. Now, who is going to be the opening day starter for the Pirates?
Pirates are throwing out the new lefty, Eric Bedard, signed him over the offseason from the Mariners. He's pitched well this spring. He's been in opening day games before, and he's been successful when healthy in his career, and he's healthy right now. And the Pirates really like to get the new guys in there right away and show the free agents that they get respect, and then they're ready to throw him out there in big games. So it's Bedard, the lefty, going out the Phillies, and he's definitely the best man for the job. He's done it before, and he's looked great all spring. So I'm happy with the choice, and we'll see what Bedard can do against the big name Roy Halladay.
Yeah, I like Bedard. I like the signing when it happened. Now, how long does the elbow hang up before he blows it out?
Yeah, the interesting thing was he actually quoted. They quoted him saying that this is the first off season in 3 or 4 years that he's not been focused on health for the offseason. He's been focused on getting ready for the season, throwing, rather than just doing rehab and getting the elbow strong. So I'm feeling good about it. I know it's tough to be positive when you're a Pirate fan and you've lost 19 years in a row, but I just kind of have the feeling that he's in it, maybe not for a full season. That might be a little too much to ask. He hasn't thrown 200 innings in 5 years or so, so it may be asking a little too much to go a whole season, but I think we're going to see a good amount of him. I think he makes in the mid-20s and starts there, and that's certainly something that the Pirates need, and it'll help them a lot.
Now, if that happens, that's going to be a great signing, because that's the most that you could possibly ask out of him, is to stay healthy and be effective. Now, let's talk about somebody who is relatively healthy but has not been that effective. That would be third baseman Pedro Alvarez. Is he going to be starting at third base on opening day, do you think?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Neil Huntington and company kind of were just all positive, all behind Pedro all off season. So he's our third baseman, and recently he's been playing in spring training, and he's up at the club, and he's not getting cut. A lot of people are calling for his head and go to AAA, but the Pirates need the guy, first round pick. They have a lot invested in him. They deserve. He might not deserve it, but they certainly have to give him every shot they can to get him going, and to really turn him into the Pedro Alvarez he can be, because the Pirates need him more than they need anybody. They need that power bat. There's really no other power bats in the system outside of Josh Bell, who's way down in single A. You never know what he's going to do. But yeah, Alvarez will be starting there at third base opening day, and they're going to hope he turns it around. But man, John, this spring's been extremely ugly, and it's been really discouraging for me to watch him struggle.
Yeah, he hasn't looked great. And what I wanted to ask you, he's only 25 years old, so there's plenty of time to really, turn the boat around here. But he didn't really play a whole lot of winter ball, but he did go through this conditioning phase where I guess he got into better shape. Are you concerned about that? That he didn't really address some of the things that were hurting him last year, and instead got in better shape, or is that good? Do you see that as a good thing? Just where is his heart not in it? What is in your opinion? What is the problem with him right now? Is it his heart, his mind, or just not coming up with the tools physically?
It's tough for me to say, and the whole winter ball thing is not something I really wrote too much about or even looked into too much. But you can't just make assumptions that his heart's not in it. I think there's definitely a mental aspect that's blocking him because he just looks terrible at the plate. And the guy knows how to hit. That's all he's done all his life. And he showed great numbers through college. His numbers in the minor leagues were outstanding. His numbers in the first half of the 2010 season, his rookie year, were great after that struggling 2 or 3 weeks to get him going. But after that, he was the NL Player of the Month in September of his rookie year. He was hitting the cover off the ball, hitting for good average, good power, everything. And then it's kind of all the wheels fell off last year. Slow start. It's no surprise that he was a slow starter. We weren't surprised by that. We thought he'd have a slow April and then turn it on, just get the timing down, and then start hitting again. But I don't know. He might have been just a mental block after he couldn't hit through April and was hitting with a really bad average. He kind of just lost confidence in himself, and he just never got going. And it might be a mental thing right now. He certainly has the ability, but you got to be patient with these guys. Like you said, he's only 25, first-round pick. They're going to give him a lot of chances, and he's not the first player in history to have big expectations and not perform in his first few years. Absolutely,
and that's a great segue into my next question. Now that he's still young, they have a lot invested in him. He's had some ups and some serious downs, and fans are calling for his head, some at least. And although I'm not sure all the alternatives are better. How patient will the organization be? Let's talk in the short term and then talk in the long term. How much of a leash is he on this year, do you think? And as far as long term, if he just falls flat this year, is he still going to be there next year?
Yeah, long term, I'll address that first. Absolutely. You're going to see Pedro Alvarez in a Pirate uniform next year. I don't care what happens, unless, dare I say it, someone offers us some crazy deal for him, which is not going to happen at this point. Mm-hmm. But long term, yeah, they're going to give him every chance in the world. And to succeed, and as they should, they put a lot of money into him, and he's really the only guy they have. As you mentioned, the backups are not great. But in the short term, I don't know. April, for sure. I don't care what he hits in April. He's going to be on the team come May 1st. After that, if he's hitting 150 with little power and not playing great defense, I just don't know if they can hold him there. I just can't see that being justified. And AAA, wouldn't surprise me if he ends up there sometime. I'm sure he's going to struggle in the April. There's really... it's going to take almost a miracle for him to turn it around so quickly because of how bad he looked in March. But if I had to predict, I'd say, if he's hitting 150 really poorly midway through May, maybe even early June, I think it's going to take till at least that, like I said, mid-May for them to make a decision to send him down. I think he has at least a month and a half locked up regardless.
Yeah. I need to ask, how much of this are the Pirates bringing on themselves by sending him down, maybe bringing him up, bringing him back up, and say, if he struggles, we got to send him back down. It's almost like putting the guy on an emotional roller coaster. In some kind of aspect, wouldn't it be okay if he started in AAA, or is this a PR move? Because they can't feel extremely comfortable with him going into the season. You said it yourself; he's looking very, very uncomfortable at the plate. What is this whole cat and mouse, like down to AAA, back up, send him back down? Is that hurting him in a way, do you think?
I can't really answer that question, but it can't help, and I think the more of that just comes from his performance, and certainly if you're not performing well, even outside of sports, if you're having an off day doing whatever you do, what job you have, you're not going to feel great about it, and you're not going to be confident in doing it again, and I'm sure Alvarez understands if you don't perform at the big league level, we can't afford to let you stink up in Pittsburgh. We need to send you down and try to get some at-bats from someone else and help us out. But as far as the up and down from major league to minor league, I don't know if that's hurting him as much as just the pressure he's putting on himself and just himself, beating himself up for not performing well. But it could certainly happen, being moved around and not feeling comfortable anywhere, not have any sense of job security. But I'm sure Alvarez understands that that's the business he's in, and I'm sure he's working as hard as he can to try and lock up the job at the major league level and put away all these questions we're asking.
Right. If he didn't know that's what the business he was in was about, he does now. Let's kind of switch gears and just talk about the opening day game. I'm going to throw some dumb numbers at you. They're 7-3 versus the Phillies on home openers. They won 2-1 in 2004, but that was way back in the Kip Wells, Kevin Millwood era. They won 2 of their last 3 home openers. What are your odds for the Buccos to pull out the opening day win against the Phillies?
They won 5 in a row now, opening days, not necessarily home openers. They don't get a lot of those, but,
right.
As little as that means statistically and things, they certainly have a knack to win an opening day the last 5 years, but I don't think they haven't faced a pitcher quite like Roy Halladay, and any day you're facing Roy Halladay is going to be a tough ball game to win. Opening day, they're at home. There'll be a nice crowd there, and they'll be ready to go, but I wouldn't put any money on them, John, against Halladay, certainly not. But, baseball is a hard game to predict. Anything can happen. And it's definitely worth turning on or heading out to the ballpark to catch it. It should be a great day.
Absolutely. I'll be there in attendance. Now, I ask everyone who, writes about the Pirates and covers the Pirates, I ask them this question, always in the preseason, any chance this team gets to 500 this year?
Yeah. I'm feeling I'm feeling a little bit of a chance. I'm not putting money on it. We're college kids, don't have money to put down anyway.
Right.
Good pitching. Burnett, Bedard, McDonald, Morton, Karstens. That's as strong of a rotation as we've had in a good while.
Mm-hmm.
A young superstar in McCutcheon that he can hold down the lineup. If Alvarez, I hate starting to talk about Alvarez again, but that's kind of the key. If he can hit even average, if he can even be an average major league first baseman, I think this team has a real shot just because of the pitching rotation, strong bullpen, a great player in McCutcheon, some upside, and Tabata and Walker and Presley, and some strong defenders in Varmus and Barajas. So they have the makings of a 500 team. They certainly don't have the makings of a playoff team. I think that's going to take some wild luck. But again, crazy things have happened. But could I see 500? Yeah. Would I predict it? No.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are on board with you there. They'd love to see it. They have the potential. That we keep hearing about the potential, and it could be a couple years away. Speaking of that potential, if somebody really in the rotation goes down, and they're down for a long period of time, is there any chance that we see one of those studs in the farm system come up this year?
No, I do not believe so. I'm assuming you're speaking of Garrett Cole, Jameson Taillon.
Right.
And Cole would be the only guy that would even be close to ready, and the Pirates are certainly not going to rush him. I don't really think they're too concerned about this year. They want to win, and we saw that with the additions they made this offseason, spending some money with Varmus and Bedard, throwing a little bit more than people expected, especially for Varmus. But
right.
While they're somewhat focused on the present, I think the mindset is still the future, and bringing Garrett Cole up does not seem like the best thing to do for his future. So there's no way in my mind that we see them regardless of anything that happens.
All right, we'll get you out of here on this. Bottom line, 2 games, 3 games, 4 games, over, under 500. Just straight out, flat bet. What do you got? Or do you got even money at 500? Just give me, it's just a number. I know it's stupid, but just give me just a flat number right now.
For the end of the season record?
Yeah.
I'm going 77, so that's 4 games under 500 for the season.
Oh, isn't that a heartbreak if you almost get there and it just doesn't?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I hope you're wrong, and I'm sure you hope you're wrong too. That maybe they break the plane a little bit, but time will tell. Opening day this Thursday against the Phillies. It should be an entertaining one, even if it's not a Pirate win. But thank you very much for joining us on the Sports Zone, John. I hope to have you back sometime throughout the season. Maybe we're talking about the Pirates in first place again whenever July comes around. How about that?
That sounds great, John. Thanks for having me on there.
All right, thanks for coming on. That is the blogger of the McEffect. That's John Anderson. 1,600 followers on Twitter. Just unbelievable. We got to take a quick break. When I come back.